Welcome to There Will Come Soft Rains by Ray Bradbury. So, There Will Come Soft Rains was written in 1954, and it was a forward thinking story by Ray Bradbury because what he developed is what we now call, or would now call, a smart house. The house does a lot of the things for the family. He projected out to 2026, and here we are in 2020, so we're already close to that time frame. And it's about how nature and technology sort of work together and the clash between them. Before we get to the story, I want to take a look at a few of the different smart technologies that we use in our homes today.
Hi, Molly. Goodbye, Molly.
On Echo,
Hi there.
and some of Echo's first customers. Echo is a device designed around your voice. Simply say Alexa and ask a question or give a command.
Alexa, how many tablespoons are in 3/4 cup?
3/4 cups is 12 tablespoons.
Echo is connected to Alexa, a cloud-based voice service, so it can help out with all sorts of useful information right when you need it.
To me, it's bringing technology from Iron Man and Tony Stark's house into your own.
Echo can hear you from anywhere in the room, so it's always ready to help.
I can have the water running, I could be cooking, the TV can be on in the back room, and she still can hear me.
It can create shopping lists,
Alexa, add waffles to my shopping list.
provide news,
From NPR News in Washington.
control lights,
Alexa, turn on the lights.
We use it to set timers. We use that feature all the time, and that's one that's specifically helpful, I think, uniquely to blind people.
calendars,
Today at 1 p.m. there's lunch with Madeline.
and much more.
Alexa, how's traffic?
For Jose's commute, the fastest route takes about 18 minutes.
You can even reorder from your Amazon shopping history by simply asking Alexa.
The Prime reordering is when you can ask Alexa to order something that you've already ordered through your Prime account.
Stream music from Pandora, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Prime Music.
We use music a lot.
And listen to your favorite audiobooks from Audible.
In the years since I'd first started reading Artie's missives,
With its advanced audio design, Echo fills any room with immersive sound. And she's kind of funny.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
Why did the bubblegum cross the road? Because it was stuck to the chicken's foot.
The Echo app is useful for keeping track of to-do lists and other info on your device.
What's great is that, for example, if I want to read exactly what's on my to-do list that I added through the Echo, I can also access it even if I'm not at home.
Echo is always learning new skills.
We actually discovered that we can teach Alexa to learn my accent. Alexa, add Nescafe on my shopping list.
I have added Nescafe to your shopping list.
And becoming part of the family.
Alexa, what's the chance of rain?
There's an 80% chance of rain.
The Echo is a tool that we use to keep our household functioning.
And boom.
Ready to go?
Yeah.
Alexa, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
sets found the guide wires to the charging station. Hopefully missing that tree with it. Now it's going to mow. When you press 5 times, it's going to mow. That's not what I wanted.
Automower in a large yard. We will explain how Automower works, how the installation is done, how the mower cuts all the grass, that it can handle almost any yard, why the grass quality improves so much, and finally, anti-theft and safety features. Basically, Husqvarna Automower consists of 3 parts: the mower, the charging station, and the boundary wire. Husqvarna Automower works inside an electronic fence created by a loop signal sent from the charging station through the boundary wire. When Automower comes close to the wire, it detects the signal, stops, and continues in another direction. Husqvarna Automower works fully automatically. When batteries run low, it has several ways that will ensure it always returns to the charging station. It could follow a radio signal sent from the charging station. It can follow a guide wire. And it can also follow the boundary wire back to the charging station. When the battery is fully charged, it returns to work without your intervention. A robotic mower requires time for installation. However, this is a one-time effort that will give you a more or less maintenance-free lawn for many years. You can do the installation yourself, but the most convenient way is to let your dealer do the job. They use a cost-effective tool that places the wire a few inches underground and have experience in all kinds of challenges from other yards. The boundary wire is laid around the yard, ensuring that Automower will never work outside this area. The wire can also be placed around flower beds and other areas you don't want to be mowed. When you place the wires close to each other on the way back, the signal is canceled and the robotic mower will pass. Then you have created what we call islands. Husqvarna Automower has a collision sensor. When it hits something, it will stop and change direction. As it is designed to regularly handle gentle bumps, obstacles like trees and walls don't always need to be fenced by the boundary wire. If you have remote areas with narrow passages, guide wires can be laid there to guide the robotic mower through the passage.
This thermostat will make you love your thermostat. It's in millions of homes around the world. It's helped save billions of kilowatt hours of energy so far. And that's just the beginning. Meet the 3rd generation Nest Learning Thermostat. It has a bigger, sharper screen, controls your hot water tank, and it's even better at learning what you like. Just turn it up or down. It will catch on after a few days and create a personalized schedule for you. That's how the Nest Thermostat saves energy. It's easy to learn how to save more every day. Just follow the leaf. It turns off the heating when you leave, and the hot water when you're on holiday. And you can control it from anywhere. You can see how much energy you use every day, and how to use less. Energy companies around the world are partnering with Nest, so even more homes can save even more energy. The Nest Learning Thermostat programs itself, saves energy.
Today, we will work specifically on inferences, citing textual evidence that most strongly supports an analysis of what this text says explicitly, as well as inferences drawn from the text. I think some of the things that we need to talk about as it pertains to this story, first is the setting as the character. So setting, of course, is where a story takes place. The setting of this story is important because, like most apocalyptic literature, well, unlike You Disappearing, which we just finished last week, the nature plays a big role in what has happened and what is happening. It seems like civilization sort of is wiped away, but nature continues on. And so we're going to watch that develop throughout the course of our story as well. Setting setting as character is important in our story. And other books or movies that use the setting as sort of a character as a living, breathing thing. It's around. It develops. It changes throughout the course of the story. It plays a factor on the actual events of the story, rather than just being used for context. Shows like Lost, The Wizard of Oz, and Shutter Island. Inferences: what you know plus what you read equals making an inference. So here's what we will do. I've got the audio for this here. I will actually won't have to be my voice today. We'll get a new voice, and will be the audiobook for There Will Come Soft Rains.
In the living room, the voice clock sang. Tick tock, 7 o'clock. Time to get up, 7 o'clock. As if it were afraid that nobody would hear. The morning house lay empty. The clock ticked on, repeating and repeating its sounds into the emptiness. 7-9, breakfast time, 7-9. In the kitchen, the breakfast stove gave a hissing sigh and ejected from its warmth interior 8 pieces of perfectly browned toast, 8 eggs sunny side up, 16 slices of bacon, 2 coffees, and 2 cool glasses of milk. Today is August 4th, 2026, said a second voice from the kitchen ceiling. In the city of Allendale, California. It repeated the date 3 times, for memory's sake. Today, Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Today is the anniversary of Tillita's marriage. Insurance is payable, as are the water, gas, and light bills. Somewhere in the walls, relays clicked, memory tapes glided under electric eyes. 8-1, tick-tock, 8-1 o'clock. Off to school, off to work, run, run, 8-1. But no doors slammed. No carpets took the soft tread of rubber heels. It was raining outside. The weather box on the front door sang quietly. Rain, rain, go away, rubbers, raincoats for today. And the rain tapped on the empty house, echoing. Outside, the garage chimed and lifted its doors to reveal a waiting car. After a long while, the door swung down again. At 8:30, the eggs were shriveled, and the toast was like stone. An aluminum wedge scraped them into the sink, where hot water rolled them down a metal throat, which digested and flushed them away to the distant sea. The dirty dishes were dropped into hot water, and emerged twinkling dry. 9:15, sang the clock. Time to clean. Out of warrens in the wall, tiny robot mice darted. The rooms were acrawl with the small cleaning animals, all rubber and metal. They thudded against chairs, whirled their mustached runners, kneading the rug naps, sucking gently at the hidden dust. Then, like mysterious invaders, they popped into their burrows. Their punk electric eyes faded. The house was clean. 10 o'clock! The sun came out from behind the rain. The house stood alone in a city of rubble and ashes. This was the one house left standing. All night, the ruined city gave off a radioactive glow, which could be seen for miles. 10:15! The garden sprinklers whirled up in golden founts, filling the soft morning air with scatterings of brightness. The water pelted window panes running down the charred west side where the house had been burned evenly, free of its white paint. The entire west face of the house was black, save for 5 places. Here, the silhouette in paint of a man mowing a lawn. Here, as in a photograph, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still farther over, their images burned in wood. In one titanic instant, a small boy, hands flung into the air, higher up, the image of a thrown ball. And opposite him, a girl, hands raised to catch a ball, which never came down. The 5 spots of paint, the man, the woman, the children, the ball, remained. charcoal lair. The gentler sprinkler rain filled the garden with falling light. Until this day, however, how well the house had kept its peace. How carefully it had inquired. "Who goes there? What's the password?" And getting no answer from lonely foxes and whining cats. It had shut up its windows and drawn shades in an old, maidenly preoccupation with self-protection, which bordered on a mechanical paranoia. It quivered at each sound the house did. If a sparrow brushed a window, the shade snapped up. The bird, startled, flew off. No, not even a bird must touch the house. The house was an altar with 10,000 attendants, big, small, servicing, attending in choirs. But the gods had gone away, and the ritual of the religion continued senselessly, uselessly. 12 noon! A dog whined, shivering, on the front porch. The front door recognized the dog's voice and opened. The dog, once huge and fleshy, but now gone to bone and covered with sores, moved in and through the house, tracking mud. Behind it whirred angry mice, angry at having to pick up mud, angry at inconvenience. For not a leaf fragment blew under the door, but what the wall panels flipped open and the copper scrap rats flashed swiftly out. The offending dust, hair, or paper, seized in miniature steel jaws, was raced back into the burrow. There, down tubes which fed into the cellar, it was dropped into the sighing vents of an incinerator, which sat like evil ball on the dark corner. The dog ran upstairs, hysterically yelping at each door, at last realizing, as the house realized, that only silence was there. It sniffed the air and scratched the kitchen door. Behind the door, the stove was making pancakes, which filled the house with a rich, baked odor and the scent of maple syrup. The dog frothed at the mouth, lying at the door, sniffing. Its eyes turned to fire. It ran wildly in circles, biting at its tail, spun in a frenzy, and died. It lay in the parlor for an hour. 2 o'clock, sang a voice, delicately sensing decay at last. The regiments of mice hummed out as softly as blown gray leaves in an electrical wind. 2:15, the dog was gone. In the cellar, the incinerator glowed suddenly, and a whirl of sparks leapt up the chimney. 2:35. Bridge tables sprouted from patio walls. Playing cards fluttered onto the paths in a shower of pips. Martinis manifested on an oaken bench with egg salad sandwiches. Music played. But the tables were silent, and the cards untouched. At 4:05, the tables folded like great butterflies back through the paneled walls. 4:30. The nursery walls glowed. Animals took shape. Yellow giraffes, blue lions, pink antelopes, lilac panthers, cavorting in crystal substance. The walls were glass. They looked upon every color in fantasy, hidden films docked through well-oiled sprockets, and the walls lived. The nursery floor was woven to resemble a crisp cereal meadow. Over this ran aluminum roaches and iron crickets, and in the hot, still air, butterflies of delicate red tissue wavered among the sharp aroma of animal spores. There was a sound like a great matted yellow hive of bees within the dark bellows, the lazy bumble of a purring lion. And there was the patter of okapi feet, and the murmur of fresh jungle rain, like hooves, falling upon the summer-starched grass. Now the walls dissolved into a distance of parched weed, mile on mile and warm, endless sky. The animals drew away into the thorn breaks and water holes. It was the children's hour. 5 o'clock. The bath filled with clean hot water. 6, 7, 8 o'clock. The dinner dishes manipulated like magic tricks, and in the study, a click. In the metal stand outside the hearth, where a fire now blazed up warmly, a cigar popped out, half an inch of soft gray ash on it, smoking. Waiting. 9 o'clock. The beds warmed their hidden circuits, for nights were cool here. 9:05. A voice spoke from the study ceiling. Mrs. McLennan, which poem would you like this evening? The house was silent. The voice said at last, Since you expressed no preference, I shall select a poem at random. Quiet music rose to back the voice. Sarah Tisdale, as I recall, your favorite. There will come soft rains, and smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire. And not one will know of the war, not one will care at last when it is done. Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone. The fire burned on the stone hearth, and the cigar fell away into a mound of quiet ash on its tray. The empty chairs faced each other between the silent walls, and the music played. At 10 o'clock, the house began to die. The wind blew. A falling tree bough crashed through the kitchen window. Cleaning solvent, bottles, shattered over the stove. The room was ablaze in an instant. Fire! Screamed a voice. The house lights flashed. Water pumps shot water from the ceiling. But the solvent spread on the linoleum, licking, eating, under the kitchen door. While the voices took up in its chorus, Fire! Fire! The house tried to save itself. Doors sprang tightly shut, but the windows were broken by the heat, and the wind blew and sucked upon the fire. The house gave ground as the fire in 10 billion angry sparks moved with flaming ease from room to room and then up the stairs, while scurrying water rats squeaked from the walls, pistoled their water, and ran for more. And the wall sprays let down showers of mechanical rain, but too late. Somewhere, sighing, a pump shrugged to a stop. The quenching rain ceased. The reserve water supply, which had filled baths and washed dishes for so many quiet days, was gone. The fire crackled up the stairs. It fed upon Picassos and Matisses in the upper halls, like delicacies baking off the oily flesh, tenderly crisping the canvases into black shavings. Now the fire lay in beds, stood in windows, changed the colors of drapes. And then reinforcements. From the faucet mouths, gushing green chemicals, the fire backed off, as even an elephant must at the sight of a dead snake. Now there were 20 snakes, whipping over the floor, killing the fire with a clean, color venom of green froth. But the fire was clever. It had sent flames outside the house, up through the attic to the pumps there. An explosion. The attic brain which directed the pumps was shattered into a bronze shrapnel on the beams. The fire rushed back into every closet and felt of the clothes hung there. The house shuddered, oak bone on bone, its bare skeleton cringing from the heat, its wire, its nerves revealed as if a surgeon had torn the skin off to let the red veins and capillaries quiver into the scalding air. Help! Help! Fire! Run! Heat snapped mirrors like brittle winter ice, and the voices wailed, "Fire! Fire! Run! Run!" Like a tragic nursery rhyme, a dozen voices, high, low, like children dying in a forest, alone. Alone. And the voices fading as the wires popped their sheathings, like hot chestnuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voices died. In the nursery, the jungle burned. Blue lions roared, purple giraffes bounded off. The panthers ran in circles, changing colors, and 10 million animals, running before the fire, vanished off towards a distant streaming river. 10 more voices died. In the last instant, under the fire avalanche, other choruses, oblivious, could be heard announcing the time, playing music, cutting the lawn by a remote-controlled mower, or setting an umbrella frantically out, and in the slamming and opening of the front door. 1,000 things happening, like a clock shop, when each clock strikes the hour instantly, before or after the other, a scene of maniac confusion, that unity, singing, screaming, a few last cleaning mice darting bravely out to carry the horrid ashes away. And one voice, with sublime disregard for the situation, read poetry aloud in the fiery study, until all the film spools burned, until all the wires withered, and the circuits cracked. The fire burst the house, and let it slam flat down, puffing outskirts of spark and smoke. In the kitchen, an instant before the rain of fire and timber, the stove could be seen making breakfast at a psychopath rate. 10 dozen eggs, 6 loaves of toast, 20 dozen bacon strips, which, eaten by the fire, started the stove working again, hysterically hissing. The crash. The attic smashing into the kitchen and parlor. The parlor into cellar. The cellar into subcellar. Deep freeze, armchair, film tapes, circuits, beds, and all like skeletons, thrown into a cluttered mound deep under. Smoke and silence. A great quantity of smoke. Dawn showed faintly on the east. Among the ruins, one wall stood alone. Within the wall, a last voice said, over and over, again and again, even as the sun rose to shine upon the heaped rubble and steam. Today is August 5th, 2026. Today is August 5th, 2026. Today is August 5th, 2026. Today is August 5th, 2026.